What is up, friends? My name is Ragnarok. After a couple months hiatus, here live once again, bringing you a couple of casts tonight for the Nexus Gaming series. If you're new to the stream, I've played in amateur competitive before for a couple of seasons. I've coached and still do coach a few folks on the side. I've main support and I play ranged assassins and specialists. Pretty much try to stay away from tanks and solo laners in the game, but I can flex if needed. I'm bringing to you tonight a cast of two different teams from the Nexus Gaming series, Division C on the East Coast. Team Rekt M, just maybe got that, on the left-hand side, and ReGen Red on our right. In accordance with the bans, it looks like ReGen Red banned Dragonshire and Team Rectum banned a Battlefield of Eternity, and map number 1 was chosen by ReGen Red, and that will be Volskaya Foundry. So I will ask the teams if they are ready to go. Ready to go. NI Cupcakes in chat asks, how garbage do I think Zulkin is? The answer is very. We'll leave it at that. Inside joke, I used to play with Zulkin quite some time. It is up 60-second delay. Asking if... So just asking the teams if they're ready to go, and we'll get right into it. This is a best of 3 series. Hit that ready. Start it up, Rek. Awesome. So with that being said, 3, 2, 1, let's go into the draft, folks. Game number 1, getting right into it on Volskaya Foundry. If the volume needs to be adjusted or anything of that nature, please do let me know. I did redo the overlays and all that fun stuff a little earlier today in preparation for this cast. So do let me know if the volume needs to go up, needs to go down, or things of that nature. I would greatly appreciate it. So Volskaya Foundry, chosen by ReGen Red, as I mentioned before. They are our team on the right hand side, and Team Rekt M will be our blue team on the left. I really picked hell of a cast to start out with. So Volskaya Foundry is a map that is focused around team fights on these objectives regarding staying on a control point and taking a Trig Love Protector. Azmodan will be our first ban here. Not too surprising. After his changes about 6 to 9 months ago, he generally is run in the 4-man, and on this particular map he can stack super early game. In terms of the meta, we do still see things like Garrosh and Mal'Ganis banned in terms of tanks. Genji and Maiev tend to also be threats still in the game, so not too surprising to see the Maiev get banned out here. Other bans I might like to see, again, I mentioned Garrosh, Mal'Ganis. Who else can stack on this map really easily? I don't really think there's a ton of threats. Alex Straza is okay on this map, but with the recent Ana changes, not a really good idea to pick early on. Thor in chat saying that Zulkin is cancer. I do have a few choice words that I can share off stream. Not going to get into that here. And thank you, Thor, for the volume check. I appreciate it, friend. Diablo, not surprising, also being, I'd say, in tier S so far. Good on almost any single map. Can't really go wrong. I expect maybe a Genji ban or something that dives that back line from ReGen Red here. So what will they ban out on this map? Ana is also ban worthy, but Anubarak, not too surprising. That Cocoon single-handedly can turn fights on an insanely low cooldown for the most part. So not too surprising here. Garrosh the first to get picked. I'm gonna just write down these bans. Interesting. So ReGen Red prioritizing the Johanna, which makes sense. Wave clear on this map is particularly important. Not sure about it being prioritized that early on, but that is, you know, the way I'm seeing it, either it it's not going to get picked because Garrosh was picked, but it could get banned out in terms of comfort. So Shui is playing that Johanna. I've played with him and coached him before. I know he's a rock star there, so I actually love the pick. And we see Rexar and Stukov. So Rexar also did just get buffed recently. The autos from Misha do a ton of damage now. So not too surprised to see that there. So Rexar and Stukov. Stukov also is good on this map. I think into a lot of poke, he can struggle, like that Kael'thas, for example. Stukov needs to get close to his enemies, to his allies, to spread that pathogen. But with the Triglav Protector and with the Expanding Arm at 7, he can be a menace on this map. You do trade off for Target Excision, which is my general go-to pick, but that all really depends on if you hit those skill shots. Zeratul, not a surprising ban here, still a menace as well. Even post changes can still be a huge threat. So you write this down, Joe KT in the 1-2. Ana ban not being surprising at all. Her recent buffs really force people to kind of go grenade build. Thor, to answer your question about Ana, she just got reworked about a month ago. They added things to her base kit, which were what kind of the problem was for me beforehand, and they made her pretty damn strong in my opinion. So interesting choices here, prioritizing the Sonya into the Rexar, which I do think is a good matchup. And we have Deckard, who I don't like as much after his changes to his potions and the cooldown increase on his Q baseline, but he still can work really well with the right composition, provides additional CC, especially on the point, which is not a bad thing. I used to love playing him on this map all the time, but kind of got a bit difficult. We see the 4-5 for Team Rectum, Orphea and Raynor. So really beefy frontline with a lot of poke, mage damage, and that auto attack from the Raynor. So I do think their poke potential is very strong. We do see a triple frontline come in as well from ReGen Red, rounding out that comp with the Thrall. Again, both teams have a good amount of poke, which is good for this map, especially because the fights are going to be sustained. I do suspect that Stukov might have an easier time with that sustain. Record Pain, that is an awesome nickname. Haven't heard that one before. All right, that is our draft. This is the Zera bands, just kind of jotting things down here, folks. Switch over to the in-game overlay. My face will go away momentarily. As we see both teams posturing for game number 1. I do like both drafts. I'm interested in seeing how the new Rexar plays into this comp. The wave clear advantage is slightly in favor of ReGen Red because of that Kael'thas, and there is a huge CC chain that can follow. Both teams actually, in fact, the Misha stun, Garrosh stun. I do like the stun chain a bit more on the side of ReGen Red. If that's executed correctly, then they have that kill potential. We'll be interested in seeing what the Kael'thas goes. Stukov doesn't really protect very well against that Pyroblast, and I generally, on this map in particular, do pick the Phoenix at level 1, but I wouldn't mind the adjustment. So here we are, folks. This is game number 1. Nexus Gaming Series Division C East. On our left-hand side, we have Team Rectum with Tess Mel playing that solo lane on the Rexar, Jesus Mafia on the Orphea, Old Dookie Tom playing the Raynor, love the dancing there, Tanner on the Stukov, and Nair Razor on the Garrosh. On the right-hand side, we have ReGen Red with Abishur on that Kael'thas, Psychic Team Captain playing that Deckard, Carve, our solo laner, our Thrall in the 4-man on the Thrall, that's Carve. Shui will be playing the Johanna, and Abishur will be playing that Kael'thas. I missed Zulkin, my apologies. Zulkin will be playing the Sonya, expecting the solo lane, as we do see an engage going on here. ever so slightly the root going out and catching Misha along with Raynor, but not a whole lot happening. This map, you need to rotate your 4-man between the middle and top to catch the soak, and with the experience changes that recently came in, the rotations and catching this experience is the utmost importance. That condemn combo with the Johanna Q will be super important, along with a D living bomb from the Kael'thas will clear the way. But right now, unfortunately, the blue team is in the lead, even with that disadvantage. So good on them for being ahead. We do see the Sonya getting pressured back into the lane by that Misha, and Carve on that Thrall rotating in the bot lane to help out just a little bit. I love what I see here by Team Rekt, focusing on this camp and getting that objective. Sonya a little bit late, but we do see the Thrall covering for that soak in the bot lane, which should key in our blue team in the fact that that's happening. Back in our mid lane here, we do see our Stukov dropping that silence. Take a quick look at our talents here. We do see the Fetid Touch being chosen, that level 1 talent, that W. No stacks just yet. Stukov needs to, I think, try to focus on that a little bit, especially to get the trade-offs at the level 15 mark. This is super important for that sustain. We also do see Orphea taking the Ancestral Strength. Normally you either see a Q or a Dread talent there, but I do like that adjustment. Ace in the hole follow-up for the slows. So overall, I think these talents do make sense. Dread is taken here, which applies a slow, which does combo really well with that ace in the hole on the Raynor. Back in our bot lane, Zolkin is taking a lot of damage. It's effectively a 2 versus 1 into the Rexar. We'll see how that solo lane matchup goes. But overall, no kills just yet. Experience completely even. Contrary to your belief, Arrow, I did not miss him on purpose. It would have been funny, though. I love the pressure provided here in the top lane by ReGen Red. Rekt backing up just in time prior to that control point spawning. I absolutely love that. Zolkin getting pressured here in the bot, but freezing the wave here at the towers. Love this play, not taking too much damage. We'll see if that Rexar ends up rotating top as our teams begin posturing the first objective spawning here in that mid lane. Garrosh has kind of been parked in this bush here, maybe looking for a cheeky gank, but it does look like our blue team is focusing on that heal camp. Items on this map continue to be incredibly important as both teams are posturing here. Deckard, a nice little formation here, his 5 potions ready and waiting. I do think that Red could have scouted that out. Unstoppable being popped there by Johanna a little bit early in my opinion. Teams posturing as we see Garrosh pushing onto that point. ReGen Red backing off ever so slightly as Rexar is postured in that bush. Misha a little aggressive right there, but ReGen Red is pushed off the point, and we do see level 7 grab for both teams. Johanna beginning to push in ever so slightly as Raynor pushes her away with that Q. We do see our Sonya moving over to that fortification camp in preparation to get that. Do we see our blue side, our blue team, do the exact same thing? We do. As the percentage points just reach over the level 50 mark. Level 50? The percentage, 50%. Words. ReGen Red pushing a bit far forward. Once again, the Unstoppable popped as Garrosh looks to push in for a toss. An insane root going down by that Deckard, forcing out the Unstoppable, the Indomitable from that Garrosh. Another condemn going out by Shui as Misha begins to take so much damage. Misha needs to be a little careful. They're spreading those bombs potentially to the team, and we do see the bear go down. Another fat root going down as that turret gets so much value by ReGen Red, postured in an perfect little spot. They're doing so much damage, damaging that Raynor as root after root continues to go down. The heal camp does go down, but 4 members get caught in that root as Shui needs to back off, getting poked so hard. Misha will be spawning momentarily as we do see ReGen Red push back just a little bit. I do think they could have benefited from a bit more pressure. Carve getting pushed in, the silence going down, hitting 3 members, but a huge Kel'Thas Q just nuking the team as Shui looks to go down. Garrosh having little to no health, but being unable to take anyone down once again. The Orphea with so little health survives just barely, as both teams once again get pushed off. ReGen Red looking to reposture here, looking to push back in, contesting this point ever so closely. Rekt pushing back in that bot lane, soaking that wave, as overall the experience is even. I do think ReGen needs to be careful here. Carve getting caught out, getting tossed, a full team root there, but I don't think it's good enough. That kill cost ReGen Red that first objective. I do think they needed to be a bit more aggressive. It looked like the damage on their side right there was a little hesitant. Their poke was, I think, a bit more superior, as we see this Triglav Protector pushing in that mid lane. Now, on this particular map, what you often will see in the optimal play is to push this Triglav Protector to prepare this top lane. The Triglav Protector spawns are well known. They are not random. So preparing this top lane and taking out this well is absolutely critical for the next Triglav Protector, which will spawn in this top lane. Overall experience is still mostly even, half a level up. We do see our blue team hitting that level 10. As Team Rekt does back off ever so slightly. Massive shove. We do see Bestial Wrath here by the Misha versus Unleash the Boars. Orphea still waiting to pick her talent. ReGen Red needs to be a little bit careful here. Not level 10 just yet, so should be safe soaking here. We do see the entire wall going down along with the well, but no forts have fallen, meaning that no catapults are spawning just yet. I love how our blue team is focusing on this heal camp. Without this heal camp, they don't win that first objective. And I do think that ReGen Red does need to keep their eye out a little bit more on this. They could have denied that had the team been postured a little bit better, but we do see Zulkin and Tesmel picking up their turret camps. I love the fact that both teams are focusing on that throughout this game. Camp taken in the top left, perhaps just a little bit early. That will allow ReGen to free clear, but I think that's probably okay. Most teams will be heading up into this area. We do see Crushing Jaws taken by the Orphea over her AoE ult, which I think is the right call. Lornado being taken here by the Deckard as well. Let's see if any fun plays get made with that. And one very interesting adjustment, we do see the leap on the Sonya being taken, able to dive that back line. Shui popping the unstoppable there on the Johanna. Kel'Thas doing a lot of damage as Orphea continues to stack that Dread with her Mind Devourer talent at level 7. Only 2 stacks from the Sukhov feels bad, man, at the moment. Hopefully we can get that to 16. But we shall see. We do see Rekt getting a bit of free push in the bottom, but his siege is kind of okay. Not too bad. Team's playing relatively, I'd say, safe for the time being, since it's just the 4-man in the top lane along with the solo laners in the bot. Misha taking a lot of damage, getting stunned. Excuse me. Misha stunning that Sonya. As we do see our blue team approaching that level 13. ReGen Red needs to be a little bit careful here by the engage. This could turn ever so quickly. Once that 13 is hit, let's see what our teams end up going. This, I believe, is that shield talent. Yep, makes sense. The defensive measures. And we do see that virulent reaction. Stukhov's level 13 root is so powerful. Combo that with your Garrosh toss stun combo, and you can single-handedly take out a team. We'll see if the team is on the same page. Orphea getting hit there. We do see the Blessed Shield go out, and that does net the kill onto the Orphea, pushing into that top lane. Great first kill there by ReGen Red, punishing that positioning, and I do like that idea. The Blessed Shield, I believe, has a 60-second cooldown. Right, so doesn't take too long to do that. Zulkin clearing the spot lane as the objective is taken top. We do see Red here on their camp, but Team Rekt them a little cheeky here, going for this invade. It is a 3v2. What happens here? The leap being used there to disengage. I love that decision making by Zolkin. If not, if he doesn't use the leap in that way, he loses his turret and he loses his life. So really good heads up play there. Not giving away the turret, sure, but saving the turret that he currently has. So love seeing that. Both teams are currently on the same talent tier. We do see our blue team moving up and beginning to posture. Shui taking some damage. They're trying to act as vision and as a wall for the team. Zolkin getting a little bit caught. No leap in place. We do see a huge taunt that goes out, and that Garrosh gets absolutely blown up. Stukov running for his life as two members are caught there. Jesus Mafia, the next to fall. Kel'Thas doing so much damage. The team getting pushed off the point, and the Triglav Protector, the second of the game, goes over to ReGen Red. I do think a slight adjustment here might be good. Kel'Thas is really your siege, so I would expect to see either your support or your other damage dealer here. Kel'Thas can burn these buildings down and wave clear just a little bit faster, but I do like the fact that they are focusing on this top fort to start. The next Triglav Protector will will spawn in this bottom lane, which will mean that there will be catapult pressure now mounting in the top. So distance from bottom to the top is the greatest on the map. That is an awesome decision by ReGen Red. We do see a still incredibly healthy Triglav Protector marching to the bot lane as we see Tesmel getting caught out. An excellent route by Recyclic securing that kill. Well done by Sonya, keeping the Rexar there and body blocking, and we do see the priority on that well, very similar to the decision made with that first Triglav. Well done by ReGen Red getting that value. Do we get that? Yes, we do. Garrosh being pushed back by that Lornado, finding so much value as the last laser just digs into the enemy team. Love this play here. Sonya on that heal camp, knowing well that our blue team is currently in that bottom lane, moving up to the mid with only 4 members. I love the adjustments here by both teams. ReGen realizing their advantage and taking that heal camp. Once again, priority in the top by Team Rectum for that siege camp, getting pushed out. Again, I think a little bit early. The next control point here is in the bot lane, but both teams deciding that this is the right time to do it. Love the fact that both teams are focusing on those items this game. Oftentimes I cast and I see that folks just don't pick them up. Maconi Bear, thank you so much for stopping by and for the sub. I will ping it after this match, or excuse me, after this game is over. I really appreciate it. Should we be pushing in just a little bit here? All ultimates up for both teams as same talent here. Sonya getting that free clear in the top, which will eventually force a rotation. We do see our blue team rotating up. I think they could have picked off the Sonya had they not shown in this mid lane. I would have rotated up here to the left through the vision and caught this Sonya here out by surprise, netting that kill. But unfortunately, vision is a thing, and that wasn't the play. But just food for thought in terms of playing with vision here and seeing that we see the shadows and the vision. Misha getting pressured a bit in that bot lane. We do see one additional tower here as Deckard begins to posture and potion everything up. That is going to be the focus. A 3-man route by that Stukov. The silence going down. So much damage. The disengage by the Lornado being used to save the team. That is a hell of a route. Well done, Stukov. I think if there had been a little more damage or the crushing jaws had gone out, you could have secured a couple of kills there. Sunder on Volskaya. Kriv, to your question, I do like the Earthquake personally. It does look like Misha is being targeted here, especially on this point control map. I think that's generally the pick. You will have enough burst to take things down, but I'm also okay with it. I think it's burst into the backline. It does also force the Garrosh off of you in case of an emergency. But I agree. I would have picked Earthquake with this team comp little bit of anti-synergy with the Tornado perhaps, but I do think that on this map, the Earthquake is generally better. Even the shield at 20 if you're not being selfish and taking the blink. We do see a huge bit of damage going out on the team. The Phoenix being cast, a leap going out, and we see Stukov being the first to get punished. Absolutely crushed there. Our blue team trying to push back in a little bit, but dominance being asserted here by ReGen Red. No items were used in that process as far as I can tell. 2 turrets still on our blue team side, and our red team with the heal camp and the turret. Well done there, ults being popped, and I think just because of that chaos, the follow-up sundering into that leap, just completely nuking that Stukov and making him unable to move entirely. I think I would be pushing here. I do love the fact that Sonya is pushing on this turret, as is the blue team with 1 person down. But you don't need everyone here. You see folks in lane. You see where they are. You should be pushing this wall here. And with the vision that you see on the map, you can take this fort down. So optimal play here. Push into this. Get value. You see the enemy team. This Triglav Protector can be pushing in on this keep wall. Pressure being provided a bit there as we see ReGen Red hitting that level 20 right before the enemy team. Misha in that top lane as we see our Triglav Protector barreling down this bottom lane. Alrighty, what will ReGen Red do? Love the attack here, Orphea poking as best as she can, but they don't really have particularly good siege. I mentioned this at the beginning of the game. Stukov doesn't really provide anything. Orphea is very bursty, and if she doesn't land her Shadow Waltz, you don't get a ton of value. We do see the Rekt pushing top. I do like that counter push, but ReGen Red can feel safe to pressure this keep. They do still have a wave that just arrived along with the turret, a huge root going out onto the enemy team. Leap going down, not really hitting a ton of people. We do see the Stukov get zoned out as the Tornado pushes everyone back. The shield going out, keeping the team alive. The keep looking like it's going down. The Orphea pushing way too far forward with Psychic getting crushed based on where that Triglav Protector got pushed out. Kel'Thas popping his shield. So much damage going out. The taunt stopping the Sonya spin to win as another shield goes out. It looks like ReGen Red overstayed their welcome. The toss going out back onto Shui. The team does need to get out. Misha might go down. We do see that Thrall's Sundering going out at the nick of time. They're not sure if it was available. But I do think that once that keep had gone down, ReGen needed to book it. I think they overstayed their welcome just a little bit too much and did allow for those counter kills. This will most likely give items over to the side of Team Rectum, as ReGen Red's death timers are slightly more staggered. Earthquake upgrade what face? Yeah, kind of. Again, I think on this kind of map, given what they took, it's probably okay. We see Composite Spear being taken by our Sonya and the Indestructible by Johanna. It makes sense. The talents, to me, look pretty standard for the most part. Both teams once again focusing on their camps. Those Blessed Hammers hopefully revealing vision and hitting enemy team members as they look to potentially push in and invade camps. But once again, in doing item checks, we see 2 turrets and 1 heal camp on our blue team. And we see on ReGen Red just 1 turret. Both teams posturing. I think if ReGen Red takes a fight here, even though they are even talents, and push and win the game, they can end in that bot lane. 20 minutes into the game is enough with those long, around 60-second death timers, and with the siege that they have through that Kel'Thas. We do see a full living bomb build. Not really sure I like that. I can understand the adjustment of fission bomb at 13. Generally, you go Pyromaniac with the double Q with all the CC that you have, but it's been working out. If we take a quick look at the damage numbers, Orphea top on her side, and we have Kel'Thas with 45k on his side. 4th Triglav Protector could be the last one of the match, spawning in that mid lane as we see the top getting pushed out with the heal camp. ReGen Red backing up just a little bit, looking to take down this well, maybe potentially pre-tapping as they go in, both wells still up in this mid lane. What will both teams decide to do here? Stukov posturing with the potions here that do fill up. That's bottomless flask taken. So I do like the fact that it's pushed in. Shui and that Johanna pushing in ever so slightly with that condemn as we do see Zulkin in that top clearing out this camp. I do like this. I don't think it's enough to take out the keep late game, but I do like the fact that the pressure is relieved there as the team is looking to posture up and gather themselves. So a little bit of poking going out from that Kael'thas. Misha taking the damage, unfortunately. Bear lives matter too. Alright, ReGen looking to posture here once again. 3 items to 1, so the advantage is on the side of Team Rekt. How will the team perform? Zulkin a little far forward, engaging and trying to get some energy onto that Misha. A huge root going out. That should be the bear going down. The Sonya being the one that gets tossed. A huge crushing draws going out. Rainer barely surviving, but we see the Garrosh being the one taken out. Sonya going out next. A huge silence landing on multiple team members. Shui looking to escape. The Kael'thas somehow being the next one to go out. Sundering way too late once again. Needs to be cast a little bit earlier to deny that damage. And ReGen Red forced to back off. A 1-for-2 trade in favor of Team Rectum there. Both teams, I think, can benefit from a little pre-tap there. Not really sure what happened. ReGen Red did have the advantage initially, but gave away the team fight at the end of the day. I love the blow up there instantly on that Garrosh, but it just seemed disjointed. Lornado can be used to zone out the enemy team. It wasn't used that way, and the the Sundering just kind of made things even more chaotic. That's also why you like to go Earthquake on this map. Infinite Bomb, once again, kind of okay, but I'd rather take the CDR on Q and the range to keep that Kael'thas safe. Yeah, Kael'thas damage a little, not Kael'thas damage, Kael'thas build a little bit weird. If you're going to go that, I agree. You need to synergize your talents a little bit better, but we'll see. Carve here on that Thrall doing a little bit of damage. Perhaps ReGen Red can save their keep with a little bit more siege. Ragnary's in chat. We see Zulkin diving in on that Rainer and gets absolutely crushed. I do love that forward thinking here, punishing as Abashur takes a ton of damage, popping that level 1 shield. Oh, it's not enough though. It's not enough. The potion not landing correctly there. Not enough sustain to keep him alive. That staggered death, unfortunately, pushing him back, and Kael'thas being that primary siege target will get downed. I do think that ReGen Red still will have enough to keep their keep in play. Unfortunate timing is unfortunate, folks. I do think I would go the Q build here with the amount of damage and the amount of control that you have through that Decker. DQing enemy team members on these control points. You literally cover a good portion of this radial, of this area with the Kael'thas Q. And that alone will eat into the Garrosh and literally the Misha, right? Level 7 talent, that burn flesh, procs off Misha super easy. And I find it really, really hard to micro to the point during team fights where you can accurately control that. You know, Crave, you don't have to be here, right? Just saying. We do see the blue team once again focusing here. ReGen Red playing a little bit safe as the Kael'thas is just coming back. Misha getting targeted. Once again, I'm convinced that the next winner, or the winner of the next team fight, if they do a full team wipe or even take 2 members down, they can end the game through these bottom lanes. This bot lane did lose the majority of the keep fortifications, so that is the win condition for both teams. Turret not grabbed yet for ReGen Red down here in the bottom. But we see Rexar being taken out, the Blessed Shield being used, the Condemned going out, a huge Brute, and that is going to be the Rexar going down. Kel'Thas being targeted in that back line, Poke going out by the Orphea, the Lornado, keeping the team away, and that's a huge advantage for ReGen Red, who caught the Rexar out of position. How do they take advantage of this power play? Zul'Kan on that Sonya immediately migrating over to that fortification camp. We see here that there is a minute left for the blue side's camp, which means that the Rexar will be back in time. I do think maybe taking this fort down in the mid lane might be nice. 26-minute game, Resident Sleeper. Well, you can thank the experience changes for that, unfortunately. We do see ReGen Red posturing a bit here. We see two turrets on the red team side and a turret and a heal camp still on our blue team side. Could literally be anyone's match. We do see ReGen Red posturing for that mid lane, as I mentioned before. I do like that, the focus on the well. We do need to watch the Garrosh there, who with one toss can change the game. Johanna a little far forward there, backing up just in time, unmounting with those blessed hammers. Crash Lightning, okay. Almost completed. We see that top lane being cleared out just in the nick of time in preparation for this objective. This next camp will be taken as well. So that's two turrets for both sides, I believe, and the one heal camp for our blue team. Once again, I think it comes down to this fight. Let's see what both teams decide to do. This Triglav Protector can also, at 27 minutes, easily end the game through any lane. So both teams will need to posture and be careful. Shui using that blind to look through this vision as Misha begins to push inward. Looking for a stun. All team members are currently up. All ultimates are up. How do the teams react? The stun going out onto Zul'Kan, the back line. The silence going out. Unstoppable being popped. Garrosh taking so much damage. The taunt going out. No items going out just yet. There we go. We see the turret. Misha and the Garrosh the first to fall. The Q doing so much damage as Zul'Kan is pushing into the backline. Shui going so low. A double root and a Sundering missing, unfortunately. But that damage from the Kel'Thas crushing the enemy team. ReGen Red pushing through that back line, taking out the Misha first and that Rexar. The only one to live being that Orphea, as we see the Triglav Protector taken by ReGen Red. And it looks like the team is pushing into that bot lane. I don't think there's a way that Orphea solo clears this. With Sonya especially, this entire wave already pushed in, just clearing this and Deckard with his infinite potions. I think this is it. I think this is going to be ReGen's win. Hopefully I didn't just jinx them, because I've seen games get thrown before, but I think that's it. I don't think there's a way they can lose with the Triglav Protector and just the Orphea. The BM Sundering Bee used at the last minute with the Lornado cast on the side. Game number 1 will go over to the side of ReGen Red. All right, post-game summary. Thank you so much for the 13-person raid, Mongoose. My name is Ragnarok. I am currently casting for the Nexus Gaming Series, a Division C East matchup between Team Rekt on the left, our blue team, and our red team, ReGen Red, on the right. ReGen Red just won the first game in this best of 3 series on Volskaya Foundry. Take a quick look here. Game lasted about 30 minutes, which is, I'd say, average these days, given the experience changes. Kills started out pretty even for the most part. We do see a lot of healing coming out from both of our supports, which is great. Kel'Thas and Orphea, the mages, topping the charts. Talent builds, for the most part, pretty standard. And I just think the pressure and the picks from ReGen Red ended up winning them the game and those team fights. I think with just a little bit more patience there and just trying to find that kill, maybe an unstoppable combo with a toss, you can blow someone up. And I think ReGen just kind of mastered that a little bit better. We're going to go to a quick break while our teams get game number 2 ready, folks. If you haven't dropped a follow or a sub, I would absolutely love that. Game number 2 coming up right after this. Stay tuned. All right, folks, and we are back. Getting ready for game number 2, which will be on Towers of Doom. I believe that is chosen by our blue team, Team Rectum. Never going to get over that. That's actually insane. So if you're just joining us, my name is Ragnarok. This is a cast for the Nexus Gaming Series, Division C on the East. Thank you so much, everyone, actually, for the follows. Knee Braces 22, Maconi Bear, and Maconi Bear for that sub. Trigger that right away. Thank you for that subscription. I appreciate it. Looks like the draft was started without me, so okay. We're gonna go right into it. Towers of Doom. Switch over to that draft screen. Get that hype music going. Guess we're starting. Thanks for waiting. Rip. Yes, Murda Parunat is... We're fine. Unless... Alright, sweet. Sorry about that. Alright, so game number 2 on Towers of Doom. If you're just joining us, folks, ReGen Red is up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. Start writing down some of these draft picks. Maiev not making it through the draft once again. Not too surprising. The Maiev was actually banned out in the last game. Maiev Diablo by the side, excuse me, not Maiev Diablo. Maiev and I don't remember because I wrote the wrong thing down. Rest in peace. Asmo Diablo was the bands, or were the bands, excuse me, on our blue side. So we see Maiev. Asmo, not too surprising. For similar reasons, I don't personally think that Asmo was that terrifying. A couple of other teams seem to think so. Thanks again, Paruna, for the 100 bits. I really appreciate it. And that's perfectly fine, I understand. It looks like ReGen Red actually banned out the Kael'thas. Very interesting, given that they're the ones that picked it in the last game. So a little curious there. Anubrak still a generally really good ban. Diablo, Mal'Ganis, Genji, Zeratul. All really, really good picks. Not really sure who is going to get banned here. Diablo, cool. So the bans are mostly similar. Asmo and Diablo were banned in the last game, also by Team Rectum. And our red team banned Maiev and Kael'thas in this game, and Maiev and someone who I don't remember. Thank you, Anubrak. I literally said it. Anubrak in the last game. Thank you very much, Arrow. 60-second delay, folks. Cool. So Asmo Diablo, first pick material. We still have Mal'Ganis. It looks like Dahaka is the priority here. Zulkin will be playing that in that top lane. This being one of Dahaka's greatest maps, as long as you're aware of your team, you know where your bushes are, and you come in at the right time, isolating that back line and just wreaking havoc. Amazing rotation potential here. And I'd say overall, of all of the maps in this game so far, especially in the competitive scene, Towers of Doom is the one that hasn't been affected by the experience changes. Anubrak and Junkrat being taken early on. That pick is a bit surprising. I do love me a good Junkrat game though. Super powerful, great wave clear, good burst potential with that Reptire at level 10. Excellent mobility depending on what you take, like Ripper Air. Should we playing that Garrosh, taking it away this game from our blue team? And Hanzo with that super sick skin is picked. Amazing poke potential. Pretty good for burning the boss. I'd say people still generally go that W build for the most part, even with the change about a year ago or so, maybe 9 months or so, to that level 7 talent. Your W only procs, excuse me, you only get CDR on that W at 7 when you auto attack heroes. I love the Tyrande ban here. Absolute menace with that Garrosh. The Deckard is still up though, so they're getting rid of it. I don't think they're gonna go Cho'Gall. Anytime, and I've been just scarred for life because of this. Seeing the, seeing the Anubrak banned out. Seeing that Anubrak get banned out makes me always think of a Cho'Gall. So, not really sure what's going on. But Stukov just not wanting to deal with that this game. Stukov from the last game, pretty damn menacing. Tanner played a great Stukov. We do still have White Mane up. Lucio's also still up. Amazing for this map with the rotations that happen between the bell towers. Rexar being the pick and Uther. So why would you pick an Uther here? Uther with what? Are we seeing a butcher? That's the only thing that I can think of. It's the only thing that makes sense to me at the moment. If they're taking that in the 3-4. Taking Uther early on will incite something like a Lunara. Zulkin is normally the Lunara player on the team, so he's on the Dahaka in the solo lane. Probably won't be him. But I generally would leave the Uther to the end. Carve takes that Lunara, not surprisingly, and Repsychic on one of his comfort picks, that Lucio. So what will they take here? Again, I don't really see a reason to take Uther. You showed Hanzo, but he's not really any burst. So taking the Uther there, I think, may have been a small drafting error that ReGen Red definitely capitalized on. Okay. We have an Illidan game. We have an Illidan game, folks. So Illidan will be picked up. Can't say I saw that coming. That is a ton of frontline. Not really sure how you peel him off, actually, now that I think about it. Into the ReGen Red comp, outside of Lucio Boops and maybe Garrosh Tosses, I'm not really sure how you get him off of you. Hit or miss. Not really sure how this is going to go. You don't have a ton of camp clear for ReGen Red, or a ton of wave clear for that matter, until after Hanzo gets that exploding arrows at level 4, but thank you for the correction, Carino. I appreciate it. Let's switch to the in-game scene so you don't hear that wonderful little draft music. As we see our teams getting ready for game number 2 on Towers of Doom. Currently up 1-0, ReGen Red in the series, but on our left-hand side we have Team Rektem with old Dookie Tom. I can't even see who that is. Oh my goodness. On the Junkrat. It's so hard with that mount. Tesmel once again on that Rexar. Tanner playing the Uther this time. Jesus Mafia on the Illidan, and Narasor on the Anubarak. ReGen Red will be our red team on the right hand side. Shui playing the Garrosh Carve on the Hanzo. Repsychic playing that Lucio. Dahaka being played by Zulkin in that top lane, and Lunara in the bot lane being played by Abashur. Alright folks, game number 2 is underway. Towers of Doom, one of my favorite maps. Heavy macro decision making here, optimizing your rotations. Heavy priority on globals, so I do expect that Dahaka pick to get a lot of value. Our blue team, somewhat mobile, depending on what that Illidan decides to take. But we'll see how much value our Lunara gets. Accelerando, generally the pick these days on that Lucio, allowing him to propel a bit further. We do see our Uther deciding to go hammer the Lightbringer at that level 1, and the idea there is that you end up comboing that with your stuns. I do expect that the Uther was picked to help with a Divine Shield at level 10 to allow that Illidan to go in, perhaps pre-casting it with the dive, and pretty much seeing where that goes. So Shui posturing there with Carve on that Hanzo getting ready to take the camp, as Illidan from level 1 being able to clear that camp super easily as a result of his trait and his auto attacks. And Terry is saying that Repsychic's Lucio, his confidence is how you peel Illidan off. We shall see, my friend. We shall see. Camp's taken a little bit later there, but we do see the Lunara. Ooh, we did let the Sappers go in. Not really sure that was the best idea. Frontline can freeze the lane here without too much trouble, but losing that tower in the bot lane could cost ReGen Red a little later on. First objective here are triple altars, so we will see both teams still relatively even experience. Sappers pushing in the bot lane pretty safely here. Junkrat able to clear that out incredibly fast. say the wave clear advantage is definitely in favor of our blue team at the moment. Hanzo actually went double Q. Very interesting choice there. I do like that poke potential late game, but at the same time, I think it's pretty easy to stack off of the Misha. We do see the Groundbreaker hitting that first stack, excuse me, the Warbreaker talent name. Everything else looks pretty standard to me. Rexar choosing to go into that Globe talent. The Q talent, Taste for Explosions by that Junkrat as both teams begin to posture. Dehaka taking that objective in the top. I do think that the Anubarak may have been able to delay that, but Dehaka with that global burning into the back, looking at that Junkrat, missing the tongue. Rest in peace, but we see Recyclic pushing in the team. There's the Lunara value, folks. Recyclic not letting that Junkrat get away. The damage, maybe it's enough. Uther getting targeted so down, but it's a Dehaka the first to go. No real focus on that back line as the Uther is able to get away. The damage, the poison, just enough to take out that Illidan in the back, and it ends up being a 1-for-1 trade. This is Lunara pre-level 7, folks. She does that much damage. I do think with a little bit more focus, ReGen takes that fight. The missed tongue at the very beginning, not the best start, but overall, a little bit even. Rexar had been soaking in that top lane for free, so team fight was a 4v5, I believe. Wasn't really paying attention to that piece. My bad there. But for this experience to be the way it is, that Rexar had to have been in that top lane. So Uther completing his level 1 quest. We see him going into that cleanse and Holy Fire. I generally like the Hammer talent at level 4. It combos with the level 13 talent as well, and Benediction at 16. But we'll see how Holy Fire does. Maybe that additional damage will help make or break a team fight. Who knows? The Wisp is showing here. Looks like it was either recast or taken out. We will see these Sappers push into that bottom lane. Illidan versus Lunara. Very, very tough fight. Needs to be a little bit careful there. Can poke a bit from afar, but our red team, Shui posturing in that bush, well done, preventing the Anubarak from diving in and causing that dive to go out. The additional tower was taken out, but the well is still saved. Well done there. As we see a double ultra spawn in the mid and the bot. The combo going out onto the Anubarak. Zulkin coming in, looking for that tongue. Will he get it? No. Recyclic trying to get that lane, but a lot of poke coming out from that from that Junkrat. A stun going out onto the majority of the team as Abashur needs to make it up here to help out the enemy team. He's poking that Junkrat down as the team begins engaging. The Groundbreaker going out and not coming anyone. The Anubarak getting tossed, getting out barely. So much damage going out. Jesus Mafia running for his life as Misha just does so much to that front line. Unable to catch the bear. Recyclic continues to get poked out. ReGen Red needs to defend for him, but they just won't get in front of those bombs. Even trade, even talents, even experience, folks. Shui a little aggressive here. Needs to be careful. Pushing into this wave without a ton of vision. The stun going out by Anubarak. Burrow out as Illidan continues to pressure in that top lane. I fully expect the hunt to come out here, folks. Once that Divine Shield comes out, I think we'll need to be a little bit wary of the Lucio here. Probably needs to save that Divine Shield for the dive. I do expect him potentially to be the target for that hunt, but he just needs to be patient and wait for that hunt to happen first, and for any follow-up stuns that are coming before that shield is cast. Otherwise, it will go on cooldown. Both teams do hit that level 10. Nothing completely surprising as we expected. It is a Divine Shield. Cocoon, of course. That is a taunt going out, but forcing the Divine Shield nice and early. I think that's an amazing trade. Garrosh's taunt coming off on cooldown way sooner than that Divine Shield, and that will put a giant hindrance out onto our blue team. Well done keeping that soak up in that bot lane by our Lunara. We do see the Illidan getting tossed out as Shui is frontlining for the enemy team here. Needs to be a little bit careful. Unstoppable popped and avoiding that shield. Lunara just crushing the Junkrat in the back line as Jesus Mafia being the next one that goes down. The Dehaka getting cocooned, but it's not enough. It looks like ReGen Red taking that fight, gets 2 members down, melts the Illidan and the Junkrat, pressuring and taking their advantage and taking the siege camp. Uther attempting to posture there, but this will give this over for free to ReGen Red as they begin to posture and push into this bot lane. On this particular map, this bot lane is the priority. You do get the most value and control as you have 2 sapper camps here and 2 objectives. So the one you want to control and prioritize is definitely this bot lane as ReGen Red begins to lose their top bell tower wall. No big deal though. They are counter pushing in that bot lane. Junkrat seeing the Garrosh pummeling in just a little bit as our sappers begin to make their way down the lane. Zulkin once again with that Dehaka pressuring that top lane, keeping the Rexar in check as the sappers might make it in. Let's see what ends up happening, folks. One toss by that Garrosh could potentially stop so much going out onto that bell tower, dropping below 50%. It does look like Misha's ult was used. Did I miss that? Yeah, Bestial Wrath was used. Low cooldown. Globes are completed though, which is pretty sick. 15 base armor for both of them, which is a huge help for sure. That Leaping Strike though, that Leaping Strike on the back line, MVP play of the game so far. Just absolutely deleting the Junkrat off of the planet. Alright, in that top lane, Zulkin in that bush, seeing the Rexar there, staying alive, heal going out onto Misha at the moment. What will ReGen Red do at the current time? They are level 13, maybe they take a fight. Anubarak in that bush, Shui getting stunned out, the combo going here. Nice patience there, not popping that stun, excuse me. Getting burnt out just a little bit, but ReGen Red playing a bit aggressive. Jesus Mafia going out, a huge taunt going out. The shield being cast at a good time. Junkrat being super patient. Going out, Jesus Mafia once again taking so much damage. And Nubarak being the one that gets the Divine Shield cast, and it's Lunara the first one to go down. Will be followed up very quickly by a Junkrat kill. Garrosh being the next one to go down. Zulkin being chased so much on that back line. Psychic taking a ton of damage. Will the team be able to get any counter kills? Carve doing so much to try to take him out. It looks like Zulkin's going to be the next one to go down. Maybe. The hunt going down, being denied by that burrow, but it's enough to take the kill. Fighting 5v4, folks, is generally not a good idea. With the amount of poke that you have with this team, you don't need to push into the lane. This does give a free boss over to our blue team. Well done by them, excuse me, recognizing that advantage and the fact that Dehaka was nowhere to be seen. ReGen Red might be able to invade this if they get there in time. Face checking a bush, also generally not a good idea. Shui pushing in just a little bit. That is the taunt that goes out. Garrosh currently the one in the area, excuse me. The Anubarak going down. Excellent engage by ReGen. This Tesmel taking so much damage. Zulkin not being. That's 2 members going down and the boss is stolen. Garrosh being pushed into that Illidan. Well done. Good scout there. The Dehaka finding a kill on the Junkrat as Carve takes that kill. ReGen Red rotating down to what I think is going to be a camp take. If they take this bottom lane and continue pressuring, they control the map and they could potentially control the game. Love the invade up here. Sort of last minute, once again, you have tools to check bushes. You don't need to face roll into them. Like to see a Hanzo W, maybe an arrow next time in. Goes for both teams. But this is huge. If ReGen Red escorts this in the bot lane, they take it out. Shui missing that ever so slightly, but without a ton of damage here. Not much you can do. This might be enough. Might be enough. Carve needs to be a little bit careful here. The Nubarak is still up. Not sure why ReGen was missing the priority here. Would have been huge, denying this well. I think that was a mistake. Unfortunately, Dahaka pushing here, and now Illidan looking to take that top, but with no wave there to tank those shots, he will struggle. Zulkin taking this. Not sure why Abishur is here. Needs to be in the spot lane, as both teams a little off on the rotations in my opinion. Dahaka has that priority. Recyclic being the one that's stunned. Double stun going out. Waiting a bit for that shield. Going out at the right time. Divine Shield going out onto that Illidan this time. Recyclic struggling. The arrow missing by the Hanzo, and it's an absolute free-for-all. The stun going out, the toss happening on the Garrosh, the stun having already been used. The bottom 4 is taken, but the Lunara damage doing so much to the entire enemy team that Uther cannot keep up. Illidan the first to go down. Misha attempting to stun Zulkin, being that frontliner in Shui's absence, and the constant, consistent poke by the Hanzo just crushes him. Just crushes him. So many shots going over to the side of ReGen Red. Needing to be careful, a little bit split here. No damage at the moment. That Garrosh could have died there. If the team was positioned and a Cocoon goes out, well, Cocoon wasn't there, so that's not going to happen. I rest my case. Top lane, Zulkin continuing to pressure and keep that Rexar in check. And I love what ReGen Red is doing here. Keeping the blue team down here. Even talent tiers poking. Only 2 stacks though on that Hanzo feels bad, man. Generally don't like this talent. Takes a long time to hit. And with the chaos and the dive of the enemy team, not as easy to get. I'd rather go the W talent there. Or for this particular team, I'd like even going the auto attack talent. A huge toss, the taunt missing ever so slightly as the dive goes onto an enemy team member, but Lunara late game doing so much damage, crushing the enemy team, taking that Uther down to such little mana. Dahaka 1v1ing in that top lane against that Rexar. Doing pretty well, I would say. And the pressure is kept up here. A toss going out. The Groundbreaker quest at level 1 is completed. Carve getting a little bit caught out, but Lucio speeding him out just in the nick of time. And it looks like if ReGen Red does get this altar, that will be the end of the game. That is 5 shots that would go over to the side of ReGen Red. This additional camp has been taken. Misha looking to engage on the back line. A little bit split is that Rexar. Misha gets targeted. Unless the blue team stops this entirely, the hunt is interrupted in the back line. And that's it, folks. That is it. The interrupt happening by Shui on that hunt that was meant for Zulkin. And game number 2, in a dominating fashion, goes over to ReGen Red. Did not expect it to end that way, folks, but excellent heads up play there. 4 to 8 kills overall as I switch to this post-match overlay. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. I really think that game, I don't think the draft necessarily won or lost the game. I just think the draft for Team Rekt made it really difficult, right? There was a lot of patience exercised by both teams, and the stun combos were prevalent on both sides. I'd say that our blue team definitely had a bit more stun combinations available, but the execution over here, the Dahaka zoning and just pressuring the backline, and Lunara just doing a ton of damage. You see here, the poke is just so much. Showing the Uther that early with the Illidan last is risky. You give the enemy team the opportunity to take poke and sustain damage, because your comp doesn't really blow anyone up outside of a Riptire, and it also gives the opportunity for something like a Lucio or a Medivh to come in and deny that burst. Interview. NGS. Let me swip over to the NGS Discord. I'll go to casting. I'll go to lobby 5. Lobby 5 NGS. Arrow was the problem? I mean, probably. I I mean that's the only thing that changed, right?
Greetings.
Kappa. Hey, what's up, for
Hello.
psychic?
Hi, how are we?
Good. First and foremost, congratulations on your 2-0 victory against
Mm,
Team Rectum.
thank you.
That name is just never getting
I
old.
like it.
Yeah, never getting old. So tell me a bit about your game. So game number one, Volskaya Foundry, felt like it really kind of lasted forever, but it
Mhm,
looks like you guys picked a control and a poke comp with a
mhm.
Kilthos, Johanna, and Decker. Tell me a bit about what went into your draft and what your thoughts are on that map.
Absolutely. So on Volskaya, we discussed whether we wanted to do something very, go in, pound them, and just, take it straight, take the straight fate, take the fight straight to them, or take a more sustained, take it slow, patient kind of comp, which is more of what we're more used to. I think it's something we excel at a little bit better. So that was our general idea. Um, with that, and we've had tons of lockdown. What with Johanna Condemn, a Deckard Cube, along with the Root, and even a Kael'thas stun with the Gravity Lapse. Allows for a more hard CC pre-10 so that Johanna's life is a little bit easier.
Makes perfect sense. And I think both teams had a decent amount of poke. I think it just kind of came down to who got the pick first. Was it
Mhm.
executed by the enemy team with that garage, excuse me, or did Johanna or did Kilthos kind of find that pick at the first? And it looked like for that last team fight, you guys kind of came out triumphant. I think the game was a little tough at first, but it kind
Of
of
course, of course.
equalized. Yeah, it kind of equalized near the end, and you guys came out on top. So
Mhm.
kudos when recognizing that win condition at the end and
Mhm.
ending in that bot lane.
Yes,
Um,
thanks.
Towers of Doom, game number
Mhm.
two. So it looked like in both games you guys are a bit scared of that Maiev. How come?
We did a little bit of research. We saw that they liked to pick Maiev. This is a character that we're not super comfortable fighting against necessarily. It's just something. She's just a scary character, you know. I think that she still holds a very high place in the meta, and that she's just a general. She's a hard carry. We'll call her that, and so especially, I mean, not that we knew that they were going Uther, but especially with an Uther, oh, like she can do anything she wants. She's enabled to do whatever. So as far as Maiev goes, yeah, she's a scary character. She's just something that we think we want to just keep away.
Makes perfect sense. And I think for the most part, Maiev early on in your one or your 1-2 is generally a safe pick. She can work with pretty much
Mm-hmm.
any comp because she wave clears, she dives, she has a both like two of her ults or both of her ults are completely viable in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I like where your head's at there. So tell me a bit about the Lunar pick. So in draft, I mentioned okay, the Uther was picked in the 3-4. This is probably going to incite heavy poke through a Lunara, and you already had taken Hanzo. Was that kind of your exact reasoning for that pick?
That is 100% the reasoning. We figured, Hanzo is good poke, and they had already taken Junkrat, who is probably the next best poke in the game, really. And they banned out Tyrande as well. But we 100% said, oh, this is a big Lunara pick. She can poke just as well, and she terrorizes Uther. Uther cannot keep up with her damage, and this is something that we should look forward or look into doing. And sure enough, Abishur said, "Yeah, I'll take it. I'll swap Hanzo and I'll take the Lunara and I'll do that." And so a big kudos to him as our substitute for being flexible, and I got to give him a quick shout out for that. So very glad that he was able to pull out the Lunara and honestly, he helped us get into victory for sure.
I agree completely, and I think there was one particular team fight where the Lunara literally just walked into the back line and two
Mm-hmm.
shot the Junkrat with the leaping
Mm-hmm.
strikes.
Yeah, that was
And
incredible.
yeah, and I think oftentimes you do see Lunara go the Thornwood Vines for that poke, but I
Mm-hmm.
think just because the Illidan was really focused on trying to take down either you on the Lucio or the Hanzo, they kind of really allowed for the Lunara to kind of have free reign in that back line and just
Yes,
continue stacking and spreading that
yes.
damage.
And I'm so glad he asked us. He said, "Do we want the thorn vine, or do we want the leap?" And we said to him, "We want the leap because you're gonna have Illidan on you. You're gonna need to escape somehow." And I'm so glad he asked that before, just picking it. Um, big kudos to him again.
Yeah, and I think that's also a very important point here too. Whether it's Uther or anyone else, right? Your
Mhm.
job as a support is to try to mitigate damage, and in the case of Uther, it's going to be burst, right? So who do you
Absolutely.
save, right? Who are you trying to
Mhm.
save? Do you cleanse the Dahaka tongue? Do you stop the poison damage from the Divine Shield? It really
Absolutely.
puts the Uther into a really tough spot. So I give major kudos over to Tanner for his Stukov play in the first game and the Uther
Absolutely.
play in this game. Playing into a super hard comp, he did amazing. I think both
Mhm.
teams did amazing. I absolutely loved casting you guys, but those are all the questions I had, Rekt. Do you have any shout outs?
Of course, I do. I've got a big shout outs to all my teammates. That would be the Abishore, as I said, Carve, Shui, Arrow, who couldn't make it tonight, as well as Antarius. The legendary Zulkin. I don't know if you know him.
Never met him.
Never met him. Okay. Well, him and pretty much I don't know, all my IRL friends who are watching stuff like that, and all of you viewers. I love all of you. NGS. And that's it. And you too, Ragnarok, of course.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, Rekt, thank you so much. Have a great night. Enjoy your victory here,
All right,
and
thank you.
GG's.
GG's.
All right, folks. Well, there you have it. First cast in quite some time, but hopefully it wasn't too bad. This was Division C East in the Nexus Gaming Series between Team Rectum and ReGen Red. ReGen Red taking the series as best of 3-0. I will be throwing the host over to someone else that is streaming for NGS. Let's take a quick peek here. Thank you, everyone, for all the follows, for the bits, for the subs. I really, really appreciate it. Let's see. Who is casting? It looks like Bahamut Gaming is casting. I don't know how many. Let's see. I don't know if he's about to finish his game. No, it looks like he's just starting. So I will send you over to Bahamut. Thank you, everyone, for watching, for tuning in, for your support. I really appreciate it. My name is Ragnarok. You can follow me twitch.tv/Ragnarok, 2 N's and 2 R's. Same on Twitter. I generally try to tweet about when I go live, but I hope to be casting more games for NGS in the upcoming weeks for Season 6. Until next time, I'll catch you in the Nexus. Peace out.